What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 165.
We are so close. We are so close.
Woo. Yes. Just
Yes.
moving along. Yes.
Yep.
We are bringing you that Monday energy live. If you're watching live, join us over in the live chat. And if you're watching later, awesome. Welcome. Comment down below on the different stuff we're going to talk about. Introductions. Hello, I'm Carrie Lane.
And I'm Katie Cullen. And I feel like for this, I have to show the whole shirt because it just says Persephone's. It's Persephone's Garden Club.
Ha 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 ha.
I love this one so much. Etsy, baby. We got some good stuff there.
I have an old concert shirt from Missy Higgins.
Excellent.
And I'm all slight tangent on that of at work. I had a much younger coworker be like, I like your outfit. And it really is just this shirt and jeans, but they're older jeans. So I'm like, do I just look super 2000s and that's just back in? And I'm like, I don't know. It's not a bad outfit.
You into the band, but you can't tell me.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those. I'm like, wait, like I'm more used to it when it's something more elaborate. So it's just like a t-shirt and jeans. You're like, what? Thanks. But anyway, yes, we also do tangents here. We're going to be talking anime news announcements and Go Loser Ranger, of course, and recommendations and so much more. So stick around for all of that. Gonna look over in the live chat real quick. We got Giga Derek. Thank you for waiting. Yes.
Appreciate you.
And a thumbs up. I like it. Here's a thumbs up back. And we got Untitled on Purpose, Cat and Lap, snacks in hand. I'm good to go. Love it. Yes. Hello. Welcome. All right. Oh, and one other thing too. Make sure you're following us over on Blue Sky and Twitter at NTATNB, as well as here on Fanversations YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button, thumbs up button, and the notification bell. All those things.
Yeah.
We got exciting things coming up, so that's why you want to follow on all the spaces.
We are going into convention season. And convention season is when we start doing stuff that isn't just live streams on this channel, including some fun interviews.
Yes.
You see the AX and Comic-Con and whatnot playlist from last year, and AX and Comic-Con and whatnot are coming up, so keep an eye out.
And if you're new here, we have a whole playlist on Anime Expo and Comic-Con and voice actors and so much more, so go check that out.
Yeah, we have so much stuff going on.
There's a lot. Yeah. So we're excited to bring it all to you. So let's get into it of things we're excited about. All right. I think I'm kicking it off.
Yes.
We're jumping ahead.
Marathon version again. So it's you doing 4, and then I'm doing 4, and then episode.
Yes.
So.
All right. So this is some announcements. This is getting ready for Comic-Con and so we've Anime Expo first and Comic-Con, but we're giving you some Comic-Con news. This is from Ignition Press, and they're going to debut some merch and preview series at their Ignition Press room. And we will share some images over on our Twitter and Blue Sky, as we were saying. So Roots of Madness. This cover looks so cool. And so writer Stephanie Williams, Nubia, teams with artist Letizia Condonisi, sorry if I say anybody's names wrong, for a brand new cosmic horror comic book series entitled Roots of Madness at Ignition Press. The publisher will preview the series during Comic-Con at San Diego, and it will be... Okay, yeah. So this will be Ignition Press. They're going to have a boutique pop-up, which I'm like, oh, that sounds so cute too. And it'll be in the Gaslamp District.
Oh.
And love that. Oh, okay. So there's a bag. There's a spray, which I'm trying to see. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, are we talking bug spray, perfume?
Hand sanitizer?
Hand sanitizer. It says merch. Okay, previous canvas tote. Scented hair gloss. Oh, yes.
Ooh.
Love that. It is in collaboration with Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab.
Oh, yo. That is a pedigree. Dang.
I was like, ooh.
Excellent. Nice. Excellent. For those unfamiliar, BPAL has just an incredible line of scents. They have everything, and they are very well crafted, very high quality, very good. So yeah, a collaboration with Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab is nothing to sneeze at. That's
Mhm.
really cool.
And as I always said too, Stephanie Williams will be in attendance for scheduled signings. And here we go. I was like, is there an address? Yes. So it will be at 643G. That's G as in great, Street. And so that's first one up. And another announcement, we got Leah Williams and David Baldion's Voyeur will launch in September. And so part of the upcoming 2025 publishing slate will be an erotic fine art heist, Voyeur by Power Girl Team, Leah Williams and David Baldion. And trying to see if there's anything on that will be at Comic-Con. So I think that's more just for upcoming comics. So check your local comic shop near you for where to get these. Oh, also check out Ignition Insider at ignitionpress.com. So if you want more information, stay up to date. And last one here, we have Jeremy Huan and Mike Tisserand's Murder Podcast. It'll be in September. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool.
That sounds fun.
True crime horror series leads Ignition Press slate. So it's a true crime modern horror thriller called Murder Podcast. Love it. So fans of true crime podcasts are noticing brand new episodes of a show they thought that was over appearing in their feed, but when they queue up the first episode, they find themselves overtaken by a murderous urge. Ooh, noise. I'm like, this goes, you're like, what? Love it.
Fun.
Yes. So that is also, I think all of these will be at Comic-Con because their other thing, their logo is the countdown to our ignition at Comic-Con International. So there's another title called Murder Podcast, which looks awesome. And I'm like, I think we'll be allowed to share these images because this one is like blood everywhere. That's the thing. You're like, what can I get away with on the socials? I think it's okay.
Spoiler images on socials, I think. Well, you can on Discord. I don't know about the rest.
Yeah. But yes, thank you for those updates, Ignition Press. And again, check them out at Comic-Con. Again, at 643 G Street for the Ignition Press room, which is going to have all kinds of cool stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And next bit of news, we have Tokyo Pop and Kinokuniya. Kinokuniya. Thank you. Words and things. Announces, so they're going to have some, there we go. Announces scenes from Lullaby of the Dawn, celebrating 1.7 million copies sold. Woo, congrats.
Nice.
So there'll be a special summer exhibit of artwork from the hit BL manga series, and it will be at 8 Kinokuniya. Can you say Kinokuniya, Kinokuniya U.S. store locations in 5 states this summer. So let's see if I can have them. Okay, here we go. We have a few in Texas. So we got Katy, Texas, Austin, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, New York, Los Angeles, Santa Anita, San Francisco, and Seattle, Washington. And as we were saying, Anime Expo is the Los Angeles location for July 3rd, and it will be in Los Angeles 3rd through the 13th. So let me see if I have a location here.
Yeah, that's in Little Tokyo.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
The astronaut Ellis Square, right above the grocery store.
There we go. Thank you very much.
Kinokuniya. So yeah, for those of you who do your Anime Expo and then go down to Little Tokyo, that's where the Kinokuniya is, and you can check out this exhibition.
So copies of Lullaby of the Dawn, as well as a variety of other licensed merchandise, including art prints, postcard sets, sticker packs, and more will be available for purchase. So you go follow Tokyo Pop for more information and to get those dates. And yeah, they got some gorgeous art, which we'll be sharing again over on our social.
All right.
Yay!
Keeping on the manga train, Manga Mavericks Books and Red String announced July release of 3 additional manga titles. So they are expanding their North American catalog in partnership with Red String to debut Now No One Lurks Beneath the Snow. What a title! The Murderer and Her Runaway Desire, and Senpai no Kohai. So this again, these are beautiful. No One Lurks Beneath the Snow. The summary that they gave us, it's for 18 plus. No one ever wanted to make the journey, and so the role fell to me to go and visit the manor located deep in the mountains. I was to deliver carrots of all things to this residence that everyone was reluctant to visit. And there a mysterious, beautiful, and wise individual who called the snowy manor their home awaited me. This looks fun. This looks fun. We have the Murderer and Her Runaway Desire, and we have Senpai no Kohai. So all of them, yes, all of these are available July 16th. So keep an eye out on the Manga Mavericks website, and pre-orders are available.
Sweet.
Enjoy. Give me just a sec to swap over to my other emails. I have so many emails because now we move on with Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll reveals English voice cast for highly anticipated upcoming shonen series Gachiakuta. America's next big hit premieres July 6th with day and date dubs only on Crunchyroll. So we know that we're getting it on the 6th. We know that we are getting a panel at Anime Expo. Again, we know it's dropping on Crunchyroll. We have Bryson Balgas as Rudo, Christopher Wekamp as Engine, Corey Wilder as Zanka, Katie Caruso as Rio, Zeno Robinson as Jabber, and John Bergmeyer as Regto. So this should be a very good time. Also, right after each episode airs, check out the Gachiakuta After Show, an audio-exclusive podcast presented and hosted by the award-winning The Anime Effect podcast, part of the continued collaboration between Crunchyroll and Sony Music. Gotta say that we're here for after shows. You know, we kind of both came from that and are still doing that. Hi, that's part of what this show is.
Yes.
So yes, mark your calendars for the Gachiakuta premiere, and if you're going to Anime Expo, mark your calendars for the panel. We have a couple more. Crunchyroll announces acquisition of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, A Lonely Dragon Wants to Be Loved. Crunchyroll acquires worldwide rights, excluding Asia, for the heartwarming film. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, A Lonely Dragon Wants to Be Loved, based on the beloved manga. The film will be available in Japanese with English subtitles in North America, picking up right where Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Season 2 left off. The new film finds dragon-cowled Kana Kamui facing a major dilemma, having to decide between her biological dragon family and her newfound human family. So if you want to catch up on the show before you watch the movie, the seasons are available on Crunchyroll. We have the rights acquired. We do not seem to have a date just yet. So keep an eye out for that as well. And finally, from Crunchyroll, news we've all been waiting for. It's getting hot out there. Seasons are starting to turn soon enough. And Crunchyroll has sent us their 2025 summer anime season lineup. So, per usual, we're not going to read all of these. We know that anime seasons have been absolutely stacked as of late. So here's just a few to get you started. We have Gachiakuta, as we've mentioned. We have Kaiju number 8, Season 2, Dandadan Season 2, My Dress Up Darling Season 2, Night of the Living Cat, again, the one where people are turning into cats, Clevites, Onmyo Kaiten Rebirth Verse, Dr. Stone Science Future Season 2, Lord of Mysteries. That just sounds like a fun title.
And I've seen that on a couple lists. Yep.
Oh, yeah. And To Be Hero X and Shirley Witch Watch, One Piece, and more series will continue through the summer 2025 anime season. So we have quite a few going on. Again, for the entire list, you can check out Crunchyroll socials and the Crunchyroll website. Lord of Mysteries has a 2-episode premiere that drops on June 28th. I'm just going to see if I can get you some dates. July 1st is Rent a Girlfriend Season 4, if that's your thing. Clevites is July 2nd, as is Onmyo Kaiten Rebirth Verse. As is Reborn as a Vending Machine Season 2. Didn't realize that was coming back, but that's a wild one. Don to Don Season 2 is July 3rd. Let's see. Still going, still going. There are so many, you guys, and all just in this first weekend of July. July 5th is My Dress Up Darling Season 2. And that's also when the Hoshina's Day Off episode of Kaiju number 8 is dropping. So if you did not see the movie in theaters and missed that special episode, you will get to see it on Crunchyroll on the 5th. The 6th is Gachiakuta, Night of the Living Cat, Toilet Bound Hanako Season 2. I'm just trying to find the dates for everything that I read off at the beginning there. Shield Hero Season 4 is July 9th. Dr. Stone Science Future Core 2 is July 10th. Kaiju number 8 Season 2 is July 19th. And there are quite a few more that are continuing or don't have dates announced yet. Like the summer season, as with all of the most recent anime seasons, let's be real, looks stacked. Anime seasons have been stacked for the past, 3 years at least?
Yeah.
We went from having a handful of good things to watch and a handful of okay, that exists things to watch to overstuffed with a gamut of quality, genre, whatever you're into. It looks like a lot of fun. There's too many anime to keep up with, and honestly, that's not a bad thing. It means that you can go back and binge. Yes. So thank you, Crunchyroll, for the announcements and for sending us the preview of the summer calendar. That's always really helpful to figure out, all right, what are we looking forward to in summer? What are we marking our calendars for?
Yes. I put it up real quick when we were starting our section, but when I was announcing locations, we had Morningstar Bam say, Austin, Texas here. I'm going. Sweet.
Austin is not a bad city to be in.
And also says, hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
And we got Rab Adler in here, too. Hello. This is an interesting comment. To Be Hero X is trying very hard to execute something new visually. I think they're doing a great job of executing cool stuff visually. Yes. Where and how they're telling the story, we'll see where that goes. I'm here for the ride, though.
I'm not catching up again until next Sunday, honestly. I'm going to catch up right before Anime Expo. And I think we should tangent corner this, since we're kind of in between here.
Yeah.
As I've said before with To Be Hero X, I wish I'd known going in that it was going to be an anthology with 3 to 4
I think that'd make a big difference for people. Yeah.
It would make so much of a difference going in, just in terms of mindset, especially watching the opening theme and going, I thought we were focusing on this dude. Who are these people?
Yes.
So having to figure that out the hard way while watching it, I think that definitely messed with my first impression and continuing impressions of the show. That said, the fact that it's able to mimic Arcane's art style, but is also not afraid to swap art styles to make a point, and that whatever style it chooses, everything is executed beautifully. It is a feast for the eyes. I do think it's really nice to look at. I have a lot of trouble watching it in English because I think it was made for the Chinese dub because it's Bilibili producing and it's a Chinese company. It's a Chinese anime. So watching it in Japanese, the mismatch for the lip flaps doesn't bother me as much, whereas it really does bother me if I'm watching it in English. And again, this is a me problem.
No, that's fair. Sometimes
problem. It's a me problem.
It can be distracting.
Yeah. I mean, I watched a chunk of the dub before I went, my brain cannot do this. I have to switch. But the dub is solid. It's very good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. In terms of stylistic direction, art choices, execution on that front, To Be Hero X is a quality product. In terms of storytelling and pacing, I have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah.
There's a good thing it's continuing on, because I think if they'd stopped just for the spring season, it would be even more confusing. So I think we're in for a solid, remember
I'm
when
curious how many more
used to have 52 episodes?
Yes.
Remember when it used to be one a week and it would go the year? I wouldn't be surprised if we're in for that.
Yeah, I forget. I think I mentioned it before, but when I kind of was just trying to look up information, it said something like, I don't know, 40 something episodes for season 1. And so
Yeah.
they are doing it in parts. Now, that one I cannot verify where. I just remember I kind of saw at least the number that high, which makes sense with how we're breaking this down. But
Yeah.
I'm here for it and I'm watching it. It's maybe not a show I'm rushing to watch, but I'm enjoying watching it when it's on. So, yep.
Like I said, I have made the decision to watch it once a month and catch up because I don't think this is a show that I want to week because it's so weird about its cliffhangers and what it does. So it's good to just sit down and be like, and this is this person's entire story. All right, cool. See you next month.
Interesting question here. So, could the rapid style changes keep multiple small teams of animators working on seconds long blocks? There's different segments though that go on a lot longer, but that's a good question on, is each style its own team? And is that more efficient that you don't overwork your animators, or, better balance something? Good question.
Like, I would imagine overall it would make the execution more difficult if that's the case, that there are a lot more
Possibly.
moving parts, but it
Yeah.
would also make sense not to have to swap from the
Mhm.
painterly style of Arcane to a more anime
Mhm.
style, as is often employed in some of these other
Yeah.
pieces. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I think that's a good theory.
Mhm.
But I mean, until we start getting some behind the scenes features or interviews about it, we won't know.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
And yeah, giving it time to breathe. It'd be 100 episodes in the first season if we did that. Like, yes, it needs it, but also if it's going to be 50 some odd episodes to begin with, I
Yeah.
can see why. We gotta introduce all these characters and their backstories, and they went anthology instead of starting at the tournament and kind of stepping back.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Mhm.
We'll see how it shakes out. But To Be
Yeah.
Hero X is a weird one, to say the
Yes.
least. Not
Yes.
bad by any capacity, but a weird experience.
Though I have said many a times to different friends, I'm like, and saying anime is weird is redundant. All anime is weird in some way, shape, or form.
I
But
mean,
that's why we
we
love it.
say
But
that
yes.
over here. If you're not in America and you watched 7 seasons of Riverdale, what do you
Yeah.
think about American TV and all of our CW style stuff? Like,
Probably is also weird.
everyone's
I'd love to
got
hear
their
that.
own
Yes.
foibles and tropes and bullshit inherent in the genre,
Yeah.
the production, etc. Like,
Oh yeah.
everyone's got their own thing going on. I think that To Be Hero X is a specific kind of weird that's not
Mhm.
covered under anime weird. That's not covered
True.
under the specific dramatic conventions that
Mm.
tend to be unique to anime. It's a whole other weird. It's
Yeah.
got extra weird. It's got weird a la carte.
Speaking
Like,
of
it's
weird,
its own thing. Yeah, yeah. Let's continue on.
speaking of
Speaking of
weird,
weird,
yes, my
I
goodness,
I have to say, we're gonna start off strong with this one. If you
yeah.
follow the Blue Sky account, you saw that I put like mayhem, madness, murder, and other things beginning with M. The other thing beginning with M is evidently monster fucking. Like, all right. I thought for sure that Angel was like a test tube baby. I was gonna be 100% here for that. Like, that to me, and timelines and whatnot,
Mhm.
that seemed to be the way things were going. But no, Dad's a monster fucker. Which,
Mm.
when you live in a world with monsters and that's a possibility, good on you, bro. But like, the thing that I said to my roommate when we were watching it for the first
Oh,
time, and this was
man.
an honest, genuine reaction, we saw what the monster looked like, and my dumb ass just went, "Where are the holes?" Like, he fucked the shag carpet. I'm sure he's not the first person in the world to have ever have done that, but I'm pretty sure he's the first person to have gotten a kid out of it. Like,
Right.
it could be worse. It could be a couch, but I don't understand.
I like this one. Brad Adler says, "So we got the hear me out."
He comes up to the cake and he puts, it's basically one of those puff balls on a steak on there, and everyone's like, what? You want to
So
explain
hear me
this
out.
one to me? Hear me out. This guy. Like, all right, cool.
Well, I was like, okay, cool. We're getting a humanoid, like when they go down the line of the possible monsters, humanoid-ish, kind of getting a little loose on how humanoid, but generally it's like the whole line is bipedal humanoid, and then it's like four-legged creature, and you're like,
Will someone get this
okay.
walking carpet into my bed? Like, sorry, I'm a terrible human being, and I could do this for a while.
No, but it's a very valid question. Well, it's that thing too of like, okay, fine. How body parts connected? Good question.
Did she
But
just
it's
shift human and then stay shifted
I
for 9
wondered that.
months
I'm
because
like, can
monsters
she?
can disguise?
I kind of
That
wondered
seems
that.
to be
But then I
and
thought the
to be
photo of
clear,
them would be her like
as
normal.
a human? No, it's the shag carpet. It's the to be clear, I'm not making fun of monster fuckers. I'm making fun of this monster fucker. Like, as a whole, whatever, you do you, have fun, don't care.
Yes.
This
We have two
guy.
consenting adult creatures.
Yeah, I assume consenting. I assume the
Yeah,
monster
I hope
could
so.
talk.
Yes.
But this guy
Yes.
in particular is a problem. Not just because of his proclivities, but because of
Oh.
literally everything else he did.
What about this one? Rabbi Adler goes, monster biologies could like pull genes from skin contact.
No, I think he fucked the monster.
No,
Like,
I know, but I meant like
appreciate you, but I
maybe
also think that it like
that
happened.
helped. I don't know. I'm just more curious on the, if we're going literally on the things of, so the DNA and everything's compatible enough to make offspring. Because even with like animals in our world, when you get ones that are similar, sometimes they can't make a baby, or if they do, that baby can't recreate.
Yeah,
so
we're
like
talking like mule ligers and yes.
There we go. Yes. I was like, there's words.
Yeah. I go back to Soylent Monsters are people and figure there's probably still base compatibility there.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's a good point.
That's the theories. That's yeah. I don't necessarily want an explanation of how that worked.
Purely recreational purposes. Yeah.
Did you ever see Avenue Q?
Yeah.
Passes the Harkness. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah. All I can think of is
Explain
that
the
line
Harkness
from
for folks who might be like,
okay. So, for those of you who are not familiar, Captain Jack Harkness is a character from Doctor Who and later on the spin-off Torchwood, who is omnisexual and kind of goes for anything, like everything is hot. So the Captain Jack Harkness test is whatever you are interested in, is it able to understand and is it able to give consent? Like, is it of a consenting age for its species? Is it mature enough to understand what it's getting into? And is it able to consider, yes, I understand what this is and I want it? So I'm assuming we passed the Harkness test here. Because again, the monsters, it's Sentai series monsters. They can basically all talk anyway. So
true.
And we know that Soylent Monster is people.
For Avenue Q?
Oh my god, I can't remember the character's name, but one of the puppet characters, she makes this comment about, I had to stop dating monsters. I was tired of picking fur out of my teeth. Just like,
Wow.
I saw it twice in college and it was formative.
It's a very good show. I saw that not in college, but
there are some parts that haven't aged well. But I mean, there's a lot about early mid 2000s humor that hasn't aged well, just in terms of terminology and what we thought was acceptable. So yes, it's been a great show. I've seen it,
so I'm like,
I mean, it's a great show, but you also kind of got to go into it with, and this is what we thought was funny at the time. But yeah, Avenue Q. Probably should have tangent cornered that whole thing, but like when you start talking about monster fucking, you just kind of go all over the place.
Yes, so we get our angel, because I agree. I actually wrote that down. I wrote angel, child of both, because not a test tube baby, you are a made baby.
So I'm wondering if Mom or the human Mom was initially made from or whatever is the one that had the silver eyes because she's
Yes.
heterochromatic.
Yep. And her dad has the golden eye. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And now he's a giant death
Death
machine.
Mechia.
Mech. Yeah, how they said it was funny. I'm like, what? Okay, nice. We have our Yukushi, our giant monster, and he's just a nerd fan who is recreating a monster. What?
So, if you're in fandom long enough, you run into people like this, and that's not necessarily like derogatory. I've had some very fun conversations with people like this, and I've also had some, okay, we're never going to agree, so I need to step away conversations with people like this. And it's people who kind of pick up like the one blurbo from their show, and that kind of becomes their everything. And they build on them to the point where it's like, are we sure that this person is still recognizable in canon? Or did you actually want to do another character, but you're still at the point where you are building on existing characters and then eventually filing serial numbers off? To be clear, there is nothing wrong with that as a creative process. It's fun. It's good scaffolding to work with. This is why fan fiction exists. Like it's a good time.
Yeah.
But occasionally you do get people who are like, it's this, and I've seen all this, and Mr. Policeman, I've given you all the clues. Like, this is what it is. I have found the deep, dark annals of canon. I have found all the symbolism and the everything, and I've put it all together, and that's how you get people who think that there's another episode of Sherlock, and there really isn't. Things like that, where you go a little too deep for whatever reason, to the point where it's kind of hard to see the surface anymore. So that is really what that struck me as. And then that was given to someone who had the drive and then was given the power to recreate it. Not as the canon that he revered showed it, but as recreating it in this image that he saw, that he put together, blorbo from his shows, but with his head canon. Because obviously it's supported by canon, right? It couldn't just be that the writing was bad and stilted, and that's why the conversations were a little weird. It's because he's a mind reader. It's, again, I've sometimes you read a little too deep. And it helps to have a community in your fandom. So sometimes if you're reading a little too deep, someone else can go, hey, that might be a fun in-character option. Also, consider the other side of things, which is that production might have been a little rushed. Like, just, there's a fun in-character option. There's also probably an out-of-character option for it, too. So, like, Anyway, engaging with fandom can be weird, and it can also get really weird if you're rabbit holing it alone. What I found
he was alone for a bit, and then he found a partner.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And it seemed to me that he went back and did his study on things after he found his partner, after all of this. Uncertain on the timeline on this. I would love to know if someone knows for sure. But to me, that's kind of when things...
Right.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah. I couldn't quite tell. He seems younger when he was doing the research, and like that could maybe be his high school, college, and then that's when he's able to have access. Actually, it's also like how they meet. Like
he probably did the Independence Day thing and went up to the ceiling, went up to a roof with a sign. Oh, aliens abduct me.
Yeah, he's like, please take me.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, no.
This man. And the one thing that, like, because this really, for me, ties into there's more than just fish in that there sea. Yeah, he found the Kraken.
Yeah.
I will just keep doing this, guys. Like, I'm terrible, but this is really funny to me. And again,
what? Well, we got to see the picture.
It really is just like, sir.
Well, this goes under the anime is weird.
This is weirder than you would expect a series. But again, we keep saying like, oh, it's Power Rangers does The Boys. Didn't we have bestiality in The Boys? Like, didn't that happen? Feel like it did with like the
I bet.
Aquaman XP, and there was an
Yes.
octopus
Yes.
or
Yep.
something.
Yep.
I don't actually watch The Boys, but boy, do I hear about it.
The Deep definitely had a relationship with an octopus, and probably had one with the dolphin too. I'm pretty sure
I
Yeah.
mean, dolphins are unholy terrors, so
Yeah,
that
there's that.
tracks.
Yep,
Uh,
The Deep. Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Yep, thank you.
Anyway,
So,
so boy, this episode has gone places. But
yes.
one of the things that we got was almost a blink and you miss it moment when he was in the middle of watching things, and it was just black screen, white text. Hulu did not translate it. So the first time around, I was like, that has to be important. Second time around, I paused the episode, pulled up Google Translate on my phone, and had it translated. And as far as Google goes, so this is again Google translation, it's not perfect. It's entitled Apology. Oh, come on, go back. Ryujin Sentai Dragon Keeper is a series in which Red Keeper Soshi Akagi was arrested by the police for a murder case. It has been decided to cancel the broadcast. Thank you for understanding. So again, Google Translate, not 100% on there, but the takeaway is that the show was canceled before we ever got to see any actual fight between the keepers and Death Makia Death
I think
Death
it's
Metal.
we'll say Mechia, because it's not Machina.
It's not Makia, no.
But how they
an
say
E
it
in there.
was kind of like, wait, one more time? One more time. Yeah.
It's something like that. So we never got to see what this monster was actually capable of in battle
Yep.
against the Dragon Keepers. Odds are very good that, maybe it would have had an initial thing and then lost. But because we didn't get to see that, there is no closure, there's no end cap on this. So he really could just take Blorbo from his show and extrapolate wildly because there was no ending to that story.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that also really feeds into something like this. When you're already that deep down a rabbit hole when it comes to analyzing literally everything about a character, and then there's no end cap, there's no resolution, you could just kind of keep going forever. I mean, I go back to Sherlock very easily, but the very, very long gap between Sherlock, I want to say they had 4 seasons, right? Between seasons 3 and
well, they had weird seasons. Like they had a season that was like 3 episodes, and you're like,
but there was the penultimate season and then the final season, and there was a very, very long gap between the two, and that's where we got fan theories that spiraled
4
and spiraled.
seasons.
Thank you, and that's where we got theories that spiraled and spiraled and spiraled because we were waiting for that end cap, we were waiting for the resolution to the story, and we had been left on an absolutely crazy cliffhanger. So it's going back and analyzing all the stuff and going, how did this happen? How did this happen? Can we as the audience put the clues together? Can we theorize? Can we figure it out? And then the answer as to how it happened was kind of a wet fart, but I don't respect Stephen Moffat, so that's my opinion. But I can see why someone who was super into this, was already looking into things, and then never got an end cap to that story. I can see how they would do this. I can see how they would just keep rabbit holing it. And that's how we got this. Already felt outcast from society, never had a community, really, really identified with the monsters, and I think never really developed as a person beyond that. Like, there's nothing wrong with identifying with the monsters, identifying with the villain, identifying with, like, I mean, for a long time, villains were the only place anyone got any queer rep because the Hays Code, amongst other things. So there's nothing wrong with identifying with characters that are ostensibly the villain. Turning people into monsters against their will and then being like, we're going to genocide some humans and then dominate the world and then it'll be equal. That's a problem. We have taken it to an extreme. Cool motive, still murder.
And he's also ready to just kill everybody when he's the giant robot as well. I'm just gonna. Yeah, I know. When he like hit it, I was all, maybe he's just gonna hit the water. No, poof, right through the middle.
He nuked a bridge that was very specifically being used to evacuate civilians because fuck all y'all normal people. Monsters have been persecuted for forever. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, we can work with Soylent Green as monster, and maybe not all of these monsters wanted to be monsters. Maybe they remember that they were people. I don't know. We still don't have those answers. But
Mhm.
we've also seen monsters commit just a metric ton of wanton murder for fucking funsies. I mean, our
Mhm.
introduction to boss monsters was Peltrola, who went, "Sup, I'm God," and brought a building down
Yep.
for fun. So again, this is I think his viewpoint's a little skewed.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
denying personal agency on that scale is a red flag. You
Yeah.
showed up to my church. That meant you wanted to be mutated.
Yeah.
What?
Uh,
So yeah. Living
we
long
get a
enough to
little.
see yourself become the villain.
We had our teen that was on the bridge who was looking. Then we had
Yeah.
those kids looking for a rabbi. I'm like, now it's been a minute. I'm like, where did he go? Did he die? Because
We were like, hang on, we just kind of cut away from him a while ago. Like we saw him
yeah,
at the restaurant, and then we never saw him again.
yep. I went and looked him up. I went and looked him up too because I went, which was that one? Like we haven't seen him in a hot minute, and with everything going on, it's like, why haven't we seen him in a hot minute? So I'm like, but I don't know.
Babysitting
Hopefully
duty
he's fine.
is why. Well, they cut to the because I had forgotten about this, but watching it with my roommate, she brought up,
Yes,
"Hey,
because he's
remember a
watching.
while ago
Yes,
that
up
blue
in
team
the
was
thing.
gonna babysit the fighters after D's shenanigans?" I'm like, "Oh my god, that
Mm-hmm.
was forever ago. You're right."
I
He and a
totally forgot
couple
about
of
him.
just phew. Glad
I
she
like how
remembered
they're
that
all
because
just
otherwise I'd
chilling
be
together.
sitting here. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like after a certain point, you gotta kind of be watching these guys and going, "Oh, they're just dumb." Like
Mhm.
they're just kind of chilling and doing their thing
Yeah.
and listening to the radio to stay informed and like
Mhm.
whatever. They're just bros. Gender neutral
Yeah.
bros. They're
Yeah.
they're people. They're vibing, whatever. So I would imagine that once they figured out that the blue teams that came up weren't hyper aggressive in the way that blue and red were, that they're just
Mhm.
kind of like,
Mhm.
"Sup, bro? How you doing? You rebelling today? No? You want to listen to the radio? Yeah, sure. What's on?"
Speaking of blue and being wild, Izomi, oh my goodness, her versus D.
She's having a
Girls on
bad
a mission. She's having a very
day.
bad day.
She's having
Yeah.
such a bad day.
Yeah.
She kinda went off the deep end, and
Yes.
honestly, given the sort of environment that the Dragon Keepers foster, can't
Mhm.
blame her.
Oh yeah.
Can't blame her for not
No.
dealing with
With
Blue's
trauma?
death. Yeah, the
Yeah. Yeah.
trauma. Yeah, with anything
Mhm.
going down. So yeah, this was frankly amazing. And the fact that Dee just pivoted and went, "Nope, we're doing the mimicry thing," and her just not caring, like, "Don't care which one's real. Kill you both. Don't give a fuck."
I did have a moment for a hot second was like, was there another monster child? Is there I'm like, oh yeah, D could do
It's like, yeah,
uh
he's a shapeshifter. He's a little shit.
yes. I
Also,
looked it up. Oh,
no, go ahead.
the Umi Bozu is the what the name was of the weapon she had. So it's sea priest and yokai. So it was just like a sea creature thing. So I was like,
Giant
okay,
arm.
that makes sense.
It's
Yeah.
like, all right, it's just a giant arm. And again, the seriously not
Yeah.
okay with her like cuddling her giant arm. It's like Blue is back. I'm like, all right,
That was
okay.
also really weird.
All
But
y'all need therapy in
yeah.
like the worst ways. You were
Yeah.
raised in a cult. You were made to be a weapon, and you are dealing with a lot of grief right now. Like
And ooh,
everyone needs help.
Angel was her namesake essentially. She had her wings and like a halo-ish weapon, but not weapon thing.
It's which kind of purified the influence out, but
Yeah.
didn't. But I what is
Yeah,
happening?
I was waiting for it to be more like an explosion thing, but yeah, I think it was more of a cleansing, purifying, reset something. I was like, okay,
I
weird.
guess. I
I don't know.
just I wish I knew anything about what was happening here. I feel like that whole fight could have been a whole episode. Like, this could have been a 26 episode season with the school
Mm.
arc staying exactly the same and everything in the back half getting some actual screen time. Because, like,
Mhm.
what the fuck is happening? We
Yeah.
get on to Be Hero X for having weird ass pacing, and now Loser Ranger does this. Like, hi,
Yeah.
what are we doing? I have no idea.
Yeah.
And we've only
Yeah.
got one episode left this season. And I'm like, this
I know. I
feels
saw
like
that. I was like,
Endgame, but there's
what?
no way they pack
Yeah.
everything in. But like,
Yes.
are we getting another season? What is happening here?
Good question.
I have no idea. The way things have been paced, it feels like the answer is no. So I don't
Mm,
know. Or like, are we just going to get like a movie to wrap things up? I don't
oh,
know. I
mhm.
have no clue. No clue, no indicators, no nothing. Just kind of wondering. But yeah.
Well, wondering about your future, we also have our Suzukiri wondering about her future as our last of the original priestesses, and
And
also
last
is
of
being.
the clan. So it was her.
Mhm.
It wasn't just like, oh, we're all priests of the whatever. It was her family. Her
Yes.
family got massacred. Like,
Yep.
oh, yeah, there's a reason you're not okay.
Also,
So
she was
many
called
reasons.
Muko, which was an interesting new name too. I was like,
Yeah.
where'd that come from? But her against Red was making me nervous because I was like, hey. But also, we have Red talking to her and also on the battlefield that I'm like, are there two of them? Or is this at a different time? And just because we're seeing it this time doesn't necessarily mean it's simultaneously.
I mean, the other thing we have to consider is that the little blurb from the
Mm-hmm.
TV translated,
Mm-hmm.
that name for the actor for the Red Keeper for the TV show, same name as our current Red Ranger.
Ah.
And we know that cloning's a thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, at this point, it's like, all right, foregone conclusion, let's go.
I think so, because I was like, how can he be in two places at once?
Yeah, it
Aha.
is possible that there's some timey-wimey going on, but given that our formerly yellow guy also was like, haha, I've become a monster now around the same time that everyone else was doing it. Like, no, I think we're kind of at the same time here.
That's true. I think at the same time that I think there's two, but
We'll see
we don't know the
if we
details yet.
see. Yeah, we don't know.
And our team of two, we get our Hisui and D
Yeah,
teaming
because
up.
D lost a leg to a divine artifact, so that's not coming back.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate that he got, poked by a divine artifact in episode 2, and that damage is still on his belt. So, like,
Mhm.
this is a problem for him.
And I like that Hisui was like, so what's your goal? Are we have the same goal?
Cool,
Okay,
let's go.
I want to know more about you. You're a little more interesting than the other monsters I've encountered. We can team up for now and we'll chat later. I just
Yeah.
appreciate her vibe. I'm like, yeah, of course she would be like, yeah, okay, no problem.
I also think there's something to be said. I don't know how much the show is going for this, and I don't know the execution would be. I think there's something to be said for the monsters killed my family, ruined my life, etc. I hate you all. However, I've gotten to know you. I've seen you
Mhm.
at work. And I'm like, on the one hand, commentary about getting to know someone and realizing that maybe your preconceptions of their group aren't correct. On the
Mhm.
other hand, her family really did get murdered by monsters, though. And we
Yeah.
have seen monsters rampaging. So it may not be all monsters. And hell, it may just be a fighter's thing where they're just here to
Uh,
vibe.
yeah.
But it's like, on the one hand, it's like, okay, yeah, I can see that. And on the other hand, I'm not sure that's what the show is going for,
Mhm.
given that the boss monsters have been shown to commit like a lot of murder. So, like,
Yeah. The
I have
fighters are
no
definitely on
idea.
a whole
I don't
different
know.
level. Yes.
Yeah, like we saw the boss monsters make them. Like, how though? How did
Mhm.
that happen? That was when we still like thought they were aliens and had alien powers of some sort. Now that we know that it's all Soylent Monster is people, how
But
did that occur?
but maybe the fighters could still be aliens because their abilities are like nothing else.
Yeah.
I don't
If
think
they
they were
were
ever people.
if they were made from monster powers, then maybe.
Mm,
Or maybe they
yeah,
were people and don't remember being people.
could
It's
be.
possible the boss monsters were people and don't remember being people.
Hmm.
But we saw the people who turned into monsters voluntarily remembered being people. So I don't know. This is all really
My brother says,
weird.
ash to ash, dust to dust, like, humans.
Fair.
Hmm,
Fair.
maybe. I feel that's one that we haven't gotten much research or anybody really looking into it. So it's a,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I am fully here for this green team reunion. This just, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If there were a pair of characters where I trusted them to kick everyone in the face out of
Yes.
spite and fun, it'd be these
Hmm.
two.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We didn't really talk about that, but yeah, the green feeling like he was getting his ass kicked, but blue number 2 helping him out at different times.
Yeah.
And yeah, their fight of we saw a little bit, and they're thinking they could kick some major butt on a giant monster thing. It's like,
We still kind of have to see the Zords. It's not really a Sentai series if you don't
yep,
have large transforming
giant
vehicle
monsters. Yeah.
becomes larger
Mhm.
robot. Like we all know how this goes. Like it's
Yeah.
a thing. So who knows, man? We got one episode, and I
Yes.
don't know what we're like. I'm sure it's going to be 22 minutes with commercials per usual, which doesn't feel like enough time.
No.
There's just so heckin' much going on.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious how they're going to wrap, if how much they can wrap up. So we shall see.
I'm kind of this close to going and just like, all right, I'm gonna pick up the manga and see if it fills in any of these gaps because, like,
Valid.
what
Yeah.
is happening? Please explain.
Yes.
I feel like I had
any
one more
other?
thing today, and I don't remember what it was.
I was just gonna ask. I'm like, is there anything we didn't cover that you're like, hey, about that?
Yeah, I don't really remember. I'm sure we hit everything, and it's just my
think
brain
so.
going, "There was a thing." You thought there
Mhm.
was a thing. Words, brain, really, really weird pacing on the show
Yes.
as of late. So we will see what the heck
Yeah.
happens. I'm still enjoying it. It's just a
yeah.
lot of like, what?
Yeah. If anything else stood out to you on the episode, leave a comment down below and let's keep the discussion going. And we shall see how it wraps up next week. And speaking of keeping the discussion going or watching other things, go into our recommendations of other stuff you should check out. This is movies, shows, books, games, anything that we've been watching or checking out that we think you should check out. I'm not sure when it came out, but there's another season of Love, Death, Robots. And do you know when that came out? Because I feel like
It was recent, I think.
okay,
I don't know that
because
it got a ton of publicity, but I know that it was
yeah.
recent. Saw the posters
Okay.
for it. Don't remember the date.
Okay. Well, that was one that I've enjoyed watching it, and I feel it's a really convenient thing to watch because you just have these short segments. So if you only have a little bit of time, you get to watch something. I think the season overall was entertaining. Some of them don't really go too much. I love Death Robots. I feel they generally focus on some kind of technology in a way or something weird. This one had a couple that not so much. One of those, Sorry Not Sorry, I didn't love the first episode. It pretty much is a Red Hot Chili Peppers music video. And they're just like puppets on strings, which concept, cool. But like nothing happens. It's just the entire performance as them as like, it's computer animated, but it's like they're puppets on strings, marionettes, and the audience is too. But it's just a song, like an entire song. And you're like,
Okay.
is there more? So I felt that was weak or it didn't fit. Like if I found that on YouTube, I'd be like, oh, this is so cool and, unique and I like great animation. But within that block, it felt really out of place compared to everything else. So it is some really fun ones. Couple episodes are definitely for some cat lovers out there. They're very entertaining. And overall, yeah, it's a good season. Murderbot, still doing that one, still liking it.
Very fun.
Yes. Catching up on Rise of the Shield Hero, because getting ready for Anime Expo. I'm liking this season. I'm glad they shortened the later seasons because like season 2, yeah, 1 was really long, and then 2 and 3 are shorter, and then we're going into 4 because then you're just like, oh, do I have like 20 episodes? Oh no, it's just 13. Okay, so kind of that. And I was trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, not watching things, but fun, random, going out into the world and like meeting and talking with people things. I did a couple cool volunteer things recently. Of one, I volunteered at a local theater during, it's a live stage production. This one was waitress and was an usher. And that was just super fun you got to watch the show, you got to help people out and, just donate your time. And that's a great way. Like if you want to see shows, check out your local theater and see, if they need ushers as volunteers. The other was a local big festival for summer solstice. And that one, I got to be in the parade, which was really fun. And you can check my social media. I have some pictures on that and I'll post some more. But the other thing I volunteered doing, which was fun, was one, working the merch booth, which was cool. But then I also got to work at the beer garden, and that was very entertaining. I've like interacted with drunk people, like, let's do your sales and everything. So we had like the drinks lined up and just did sales. And I liked it because it was fun interacting with people, and you got to hear music, and it was all just like a giant fundraiser. And actually, I was like, oh yeah, here's part of my hat costume. I have this there's the little sun.
That's fun.
And then, there we go. So there was the head of the team hand painted the sun on there, and then I put some little pins. I have a little butterfly, a little bird, and a little feather. And I had a little vest, and we were like little park rangers. It was very cute. And we had the thing with that too is just enjoying being in the creative space because we had little puppets to collect donations. So mine, I got a sea urchin. So it was just like 2 painted colanders, plastic ones with like little spikes coming off of it, and I could just pull a string and its mouth would open, and it was just a long bamboo pole, and it was fun to go up to little kids and be like smack smack, and it made a nice sound, so it was fun, not really loud but enough, so if people were just kind of like not looking, and it'd be like right by their face and like whoa, and laugh, and so I was like, yes, it was fun scaring people, but not, not like terrified, but just more like, yeah. You see, also get off your phone.
Yeah. Like, excuse you, this is a parade.
Yes. And then you're like, hey. And so that was really cute. So check out your local events, see if there's other ways that you can volunteer. It's also a really great way to meet people. Like if you're sitting around going, I don't know anybody, I'm having a hard time meeting people. I've had that discussion with other friends where they're like, how do you meet other people? Volunteering is a great way to meet other people. The beer garden team, everybody was so nice, so helpful, and everybody helped each other out. And it was just really like a cool way to be like, oh, hi, we worked together for a few hours. What's your name? Great to meet you. And then so I do highly recommend that. And if you've had some cool volunteer opportunities, which I know Katie has too, you gave a shout out on yours. Leave a comment. Let us know other places you've maybe volunteered or been curious about volunteering at.
Yeah.
Katie, what about you?
Have an event you enjoy attending, it is entirely possible that there is a volunteer side to the event in some way, shape, or form, even if it does seem to be entirely for profit. Like my big volunteer event of the year is the Labyrinth Masquerade. Like it's a huge elaborate masquerade ball, and it is 100% put on by volunteers. So that is the thing. And then I've been volunteering at my local cat shelter for like 10 years. So if you ever hear my cat screaming, that's where she came from. Well, 12 years at this point. I've had her for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, that is where she came from. And I am still going back and volunteering every Sunday. And she's still judging me every time I get home. Like, you cheated on me with another cat. Like 50 of them. Like, yes, I did. It's kitten season. I'm going to go hold a ton of kittens and teach them that humans are cool, actually, and that they should be chill so they can be adopted. That's animal shelter volunteering. Sometimes it's cleaning a lot of things, which definitely needs to be done, and sometimes it's walking dogs and holding kittens, which are also things that need to be done. Like, if you enjoy walking dogs, odds are very good that your local dog shelter or all animal shelter needs dog walking volunteers. If you like handling very, very tiny animals, odds are very good that your local cat shelter, especially this time of year, needs someone who is willing to learn how to bottle feed kittens. So There's always something that can be done. You need to
Mhm.
go out and get some enrichment for your enclosure. There's
Mhm.
always classes and events at your local library. There's
Mhm.
probably a summer reading program going on at your local library right now. It's not just for kids, it's not just for teens. They do them for adults. I know our local one has one. Signing up for it is on my to-do list. I haven't done it yet, but it's on there. Also
Nice.
because I am partway through my reread of Murderbot.
Nice.
So yeah, yep, we are on book 2. We are on Artificial Condition, and it is every bit as fun as I remember it. It's
All right.
I hope we get a season 2 because oh my god, I cannot wait for Artificial Condition, and I cannot wait to see what they do with Art. Art is wonderful, new character, and
Mm.
I will be very excited to see how the show tackles that. If we get that far, the
Okay.
show has had good enough reviews that I would hope we get season 2. We
Mhm.
shall see. But yeah, it's been this past episode this week was pretty much a show only creation. And
Mm.
none of that was in the book, but it was a
Okay.
blast. It was
Yes.
great. It was great. So yeah, a very good time. Did not do a lot of new media consumption. Did a lot of running around and also did a lot of cleaning and errands. Did Pride Night at Disneyland, which was
Woo.
very, very fun. A plus would go back. Hopefully they'll do one again next year because that was great. And yeah, I think the only new thing I actually watched this week was Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. Because sometimes someone just wants to put on like really funny, bad on purpose horror comedy. And you go, yeah, we'll watch that. That sounds fun. It's on Prime. It is made by the people behind 5 Second Films, if you're familiar with that YouTube
Oh, yeah.
channel.
Mhm.
It is it is a threequel made to a pair of movies that don't exist. Like Dude Bro
Okay.
Party Massacres 1 and 2 do not
Ah,
exist. It's just 3.
love it.
It's made to look like it was on VHS.
Love it.
It's ridiculous on purpose. Like,
Okay.
if you've seen Velocipaster, it's that vibe. And also, you should see Velocipaster. It's wild. It is an absolutely insane movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, B movie on purpose is very fun, especially when it's like slasher genre threequel B movie on purpose.
Yeah.
So,
Sweet.
yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar. And on the different topics we talked about over the course of this episode, leave a comment down below and let us know your thoughts on those things. Don't forget to follow us on NTATNB over on Twitter and Blue Sky, as well as subscribe here on the Fanversation YouTube channel and the Fanversation social media pages, because we have a lot of fun stuff coming up that we will tag on there. And
Also, that is where we're going to be announcing what anime we're covering next. As we said, we are going into convention season, so Loser
mhm,
Ranger's final episode of the season, hopefully not the series, but the season is next
yeah,
week. That's also going to be our Anime Expo prep week. We will
mhm,
not have a show the weekend of Anime Expo because we will have been at Anime Expo. We will have 2 shows where we have surprises in
mhm,
July,
mhm.
including a San Diego Comic-Con prep show. And we will not have a show the weekend or like the Monday right after the weekend of San Diego Comic-Con on account of needing to recover from San Diego Comic-Con. So we will be starting our next anime in most likely first week of August. I think that times out correctly. I think it's
Love
first
it.
week of August. The
Yeah,
5th? Yeah. So
something like
we
that. I'm like,
will be
yes.
because we may not know what we're covering before Comic-Con. Uh, we
Yeah, correct. It would
yeah,
be August 4th.
yeah. So if all else fails, we will be saying, "Hey, we're covering this anime." And if it's a summer season one that's already started, we're covering this anime, these episodes. Watch them, join us. We will announce that on our social media. So make sure that you have an eye out on those.
Yes. So that way you're up to date. And then speaking of other places for following, Katie, where can people find you online?
You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. I am also on a YouTube channel called Silver Screams where my roommate and I do horror things.
Spooky.
Spooky.
And y'all can find me online at Carrie D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. And below in the video description of this video, there is a link for the director and the lead voice actors for Dawn to Dawn. Huge thank you to GKIDS for attending for the premiere and then those interviews. So check those out if you haven't watched them yet. Don't worry, no spoilers. It'll be a fun way to get you ready for the new season or catch the movie if you haven't seen it yet, or watch it now that you've already seen the movie and get some insight in behind the scenes. Yeah, stay tuned and follow because we do have conventions coming up. So a lot of fun, exciting things coming your way. So there we go. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.